Hi, welcome to the May Energy Update. We are Peyton, Corey, and myself, Yaila, and we like to bring in three different perspectives to give you a little heads up on the type of energies you might encounter for the month. So today we're going to start with Peyton. She channels the High Council of the Pleiadians, and she has messages from them. Then we will hear Corey's astrology report, and then I will follow up with tapping into the collective to do a collective reading. So, Peyton, what do the P's have to say?
Thanks, Yaila. Hello, everyone. I'm Peyton, and I channel the Pleiadians. So today I'm going to give you a little glimpse into what the Pleiadians say is heading our way in May. And the first thing they had to tell us about these energies that we're going to be walking into is that May is going to feel a little surreal. So they said we are entering interesting times. So when I asked them what they meant by that, they said it's like we're crossing a bridge between two different worlds. So as we look out at our world around us, it may look the same as it always has, but they say that it isn't, that everything has changed. So it's almost like we're looking through a window at the old consciousness grid, the world as we used to know it. But the P's have been saying this very interesting thing to me lately, and that is, you're not where you think you are. So when I asked them what was up with that and what that meant, they said we're going through a time period right now where it can be very difficult to see the path forward. So many of us are feeling a little lost in the woods right now, like we don't really know what's coming. We can feel like we're kind of closing out a big chapter. I know that for me, it has felt like that I'm kind of at the end of the road with everything that I thought I was heading toward. It's kind of this very strange feeling right now. So the P's wanted us to know that that is perfectly normal. That's where we should be right now. And they said that we can't figure our way forward with the mind anymore. We can't think our way out of it, which is what most of us are used to doing. So they kind of compared our current journey to moving through a dense fog where we can't really see what's happening around us. And we just feel a little disoriented and a little lost and confused. But they said that we're being led by the hand, that they have us, that they are guiding us forward. We're just going through a period right now where it's like we're walking forward with a blindfold on. So some things that they said that we will notice as we move through this bridge period is that we're going to find that our old way of doing things just isn't working anymore. And that may show up in several different ways for people. It may mean that you start to lose interest in some of the things that were big parts of your life. You may just find that they just don't hold your attention anymore, that it feels played out, feels a little stale. So that is something that's going to be really common in these energies. And what they said is behind this is that we're not in the reality we think we're in. They said we have left that old world behind, but we can still see it. But we're not an energetic match to the old way of doing things. So we may notice that, trying to do things the way we've always gone about our life just doesn't seem to work anymore. Doesn't seem to get us the results that it used to get us. And they said that's because we're not a match to the old way. So we're no longer a match to doing things by hard work, effort, struggle. They said that's not who you are as people anymore. So those old ways just don't really pan out anymore. They don't work because we're in an entirely new consciousness grid. So we have to operate moving forward with the heart, just kind of feeling our way forward, but with trust, trusting that our higher self is guiding us. Even if we can't see the path, we're moving through that fog, but the path will come out of the mist to meet us. So don't try to solve it with the brain. The brain can't think its way out of this one. But they wanted us to know that they are guiding us. They are with us. So they also had another little example that I thought was helpful for these energies. And it's kind of like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. we're in that intermediate stage where we are no longer in the form of the caterpillar. We have shed that form. And as we all know, before it becomes a butterfly, what does it become? Bug soup, where it just dissolves into a big pile of goo. And that's kind of where we are right now. We are not the caterpillar anymore, but we're not fully the fifth dimensional butterfly. But what they wanted us to know is that it won't be long now. That's what they had for us. It won't be long before we are emerging as our fifth dimensional butterfly selves. So just hold on right now. We are making it through this final stage. And there is something that they said can help us as we move through this kind of awkward growth period that we're in. And that is that they're encouraging us to step away as much as we can from the old way, from anything that is 3D, from putting too much attention on external sources of information. They said the more we pull back from those old ways of doing things, the more we will see clearly, the more we will see the path. So that is kind of one of the ways that can kind of help you navigate through the fog. Now, the other thing that I always like to ask the Ps is, what can we expect the energies to feel like? What is rolling in over the next couple of weeks? So what they said for these energies is that they're going to feel a bit like a pressure cooker. So we may feel like we're being squeezed. We may feel like physical pressure. Now, they say that it will not be the intense ascension symptoms that have been kind of very common over the past 2 or 3 years. They said we're moving out of that phase of ascension symptoms. Our bodies are holding a lot more light. But they did say that these will be energies that can make us a little uncomfortable in the physical body. So you may notice that you're feeling a little agitated. You may feel like you can't get comfortable in your physical body. That's how I was feeling over the past couple of days, just a little antsy and jumpy and on edge. Like no matter what I did, I couldn't quite soothe myself. That's what these energies are all about. So they're just a little edgy, a little agitating, because the physical body is just working hard on many levels. So it doesn't have all the extra energy that it normally has, and it can just make us feel a little weird, a little, as Yaila likes to say, crunchy. So it's going to be a little strange. And something else that they said is going to be really common in these energies is the feeling of exhaustion. And I am hearing this from everyone around me that they are just bone tired. And you may find that you crash in the middle of the day, or that you just get so tired you have to cancel everything on your calendar. That's the kind of exhaustion they're talking about. Not the kind where you're just dragging a little. They're talking major exhaustion. So our bodies are just working so hard to finish the building of the caterpillar or building of the butterfly that we're just tapped out on resources. So you may also notice things like dizziness, disorientation, a little clumsiness may come up in these energies, walking into walls, things like that, shutting your finger in the door. That's going to be common in these energies. And another of my personal favorites, and what I am seeing, much to the joy of everyone around me, is mood swings. So you may find you are high flying 1 minute and pretty testy the next. That's going to be really common in these energies. And the reason for this is we are processing emotional energy so much faster. So we are high flying, and then something comes up for us to process. And it may just absolutely take you to the other end of the spectrum, that you go from feeling great to feeling really anxious or grumpy, and then you pop right back. So we're going to be popping all over the place in these energies. It's just the way our bodies are processing the energy. They also said that our patience may be a little thin. So just a little extra grace for yourself and everyone else, because these energies are just a little challenging right now. And then the last thing that the Ps had for us is, I always ask them what will help us in these energies, especially if they're going to be a little sticky for the next couple of weeks. What they recommended is, first off, grounding your body to the earth. The earth energy is going to help pull some of this kind of staticky energy out of your body. Some of that kind of just agitation and irritation, it'll help pull it out. Water is also super helpful. So keeping on top of your hydration is going to help move some of this out, make the body a little more comfortable. And they're also recommending sunlight. So getting out in the sun, they said that will help the body process the galactic energy codes that are coming in right now. So if you can get out in the sunshine, that's going to actually help the body process these energies. And then finally, and most important, we need rest. They say we need a lot of rest. That's when we do our best work, is when we are actually resting the physical body right now, because we're trying to come out of the shell as these butterflies, and the body just needs a little bit more time to recover than it usually does. But it's going to be a very powerful month. We're doing a lot of work on many levels, and they say we're going to be emerging as a butterfly before we know it. They said it's so much closer than we think. So hang in there. If the energies get a little sticky, we're going to come through them and be stronger and better than ever. So that's what the P's had for us as their May message. Corey, what is going on with the astrology?
Well, very interesting. Thank you, Peas, and thank you, Peyton. My name is Corey, and I will be doing the astrology report for May 2024. Just a little recap, like a little review. Last month in April, at the total solar eclipse in Aries, the energies are still going to be in play for this entire year. So it's bringing an internal shift, within ourselves, like of cleansing and clearing, karma and ancestral energies. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue coming in waves. So you might think, oh boy, that eclipse, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of energy that day, and then the next day wiped out. So I'm glad that it's going to just be coming in waves, because having that intense energy, that was something else. So love to hear in the comments how you did with the eclipse energy, and we're going to be seeing it for the rest of the year. And if you didn't feel like this internal shift during the eclipse, don't worry. Everybody has their own soul contracts and their own lessons to learn that they signed up for in this lifetime. So if you didn't feel it, you will. And we're in a continued state of demolition, right? Demolition of the old structures. So keep this in mind. So the chaos is going to continue. It's going to continue throughout the year. And so it's like remodeling your house, right? So you're remodeling your house or whatever, and they're demolishing it, all the dust and the rubble and all that stuff in there. And would you want to stay while somebody was demolishing your house? No. I mean, I know I wouldn't. But that's like the chaos, that demolition that's going on. And we can choose not to be in that demolition, or live in the rubble, of the demolition stage of a remodel. We can step out of the rubble and find a peaceful place to dwell, as the new structure is being built. So it's a choice. We will have the chaos, but we can choose to not be in the rubble of that demolition. We also have the recap of Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So Jupiter is the expander. Uranus represents the future, fast-moving energies, right? It's it's a 14-year cycle, and we just started it. So it's meant to break up the routines that we've had in the old structures, to shake things up, and to actually move us into the future. So know that these are themes, that's why I'm just reviewing it, that are going to be playing out for quite some time. But we can choose and have the knowledge that demolition is happening, whether we like it or not. Internal shifts are happening, whether we like it or not. And we can choose to either fight it, or be dragged, as we've said a couple of videos ago, or flow into this new energy, the future. Okay. So the first half of the month of May is Taurus season, continuing from the second half of April. Taurus is earth energy, represents Mother Earth, food, values, money, luxury, peace, quiet, stability. However, we have a big play in the month of May of Aries, fire, warrior energy, and Taurus, earth, doesn't really like change, slow energy. Okay, so the piece we're talking about, that kind of jumbled around, and it's in the astrology as well. So Mars, from the get-go, is in Aries, and Mars is Aries home sign, but it comes in at 0 degrees. We have a lot of shifts in May. Okay, so Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. So Aries is the warrior energy. Okay, so we're being invited to step into our courage, our bravery, our sovereignty. And it's good for new projects and really creating anything new that you'd like to create, right? And then on the second, we have Pluto, that's in Aquarius. Pluto is hidden secrets, extreme power. That is in Aquarius. Power to the people, moving stationary retrograde until October 11th. Okay, so we have a planet, we've had planets going direct all year. But here we have except for Mercury, of course, last month, but we have the big outer planet. And it represents a huge shift, because when a planet is moving one way and then it stops and then it shifts and goes the other direction, we feel it here on Earth. It's a huge shift. So this represents like the assertion of power. So there's always the higher vibration and the lower vibration of any sign or planet, the shadow side, the light side, right? So we can choose, do we want that power to take over us, or choose to use this energy to step into our power? I know what I'm going to choose, because life is choices, right? So this will especially affect the signs of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So if you have any of those signs in your chart, you're really going to feel this retrograde. Then on the 7th, we have a new supermoon in Taurus. And that is at 8:22 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we know about new moons are about setting intentions. And it's in Taurus, and it's a supermoon. Boy, we've had a lot of those supermoons the last couple months, but we did make it through eclipse season. Oh, I'm happy for that. So it's about setting intentions. So Taurus is about the need for stability and safety and stillness. And it's encouraging us to be mindful of our inner frequency, because the moon represents our emotions. Okay? So staying slow and steady in the midst of chaos, because it's going to be there. So it encourages us to keep up our practices, like the piece said, of grounding, meditation, and keeping everything simple instead of getting caught up in the chaos. Out in the world, we might see or be inspired to find new ways of growing food, because Taurus represents food, agriculture. Pardon me. And there will be more support. We will see more support in finding new ways to grow our food, maybe buying our food at farmers markets or local farms. I think we're going to be seeing a big shift in that area, because Taurus rules money. I think we might see some activity in the digital currency out there in the world, because Taurus is money. Could be centralized or decentralized. Centralized is the old system. So they might try to continue to centralize our money and regurgitate it, the old system. And decentralized is the new system that is going to be coming in. So use your discernment on this money topic. I think we're really going to see that in the next, at least the next month. And then on the 10th of May, Mars, which is the warrior planet, is going to have an aspect. It's a semi-square to Uranus, which is the future, swift, fast movement, sudden movement, and that is rebellion energy. So if you're feeling a little rebellious, make sure that you're rebelling against something that will help move you to the future. And on the 11th, the moon, which is our emotions, is going to square, which is a tough aspect, to Mars. So the moon is our emotions. Mars is the warrior planet. And so just beware of emotional outbursts. The piece we're talking about that, maybe being a bit moody. So we might see it being verbally expressed out in the world. So up to the 15th of May, we have a lot of Aries warrior, fast energy, and Taurus, stable, slow, doesn't like change energy at play. So it's that push-pull. So the Aries energy is, it's meant to light a fire under Taurus's butt, for change, because Taurus doesn't like change. And thank God for Taurus, though, because Taurus also rules values. So the Aries energy is meant to light a fire under Taurus's butt to get Taurus moving. But the wonderful thing about Taurus is that because it also rules values, it helps us to assess what our values are, what we value, to take it forward for all of our highest and greatest good and the highest value that you so choose. Because, if it ain't of high value, Taurus wants nothing to do with it. Not about them. So on the 20th of May, the sun moves into Gemini, which is an air element, and that starts the second half of the month. So Gemini is about communication, information, duality, curiosity. Gemini is the twins. Okay, so it's changeable, and it's the thinker, air. Air is our thoughts. So it's a shift going from earth to air. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Gemini. So, it creates this wonderful flirty and intellectual energy. So you'll find that Geminis they flirt through intellect. So they love the knowledge. They love the information. And so it's Venus, that flirty love energy, but Gemini is that intellect. So if you really want to capture somebody's attention, it's really more flirting through intellect, which I find fascinating. Then on the 23rd, we have a full moon in Sagittarius, and that's going to be at 6:53 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, full moons are, give us the opportunity to clear what no longer serves us. So the P's also, too, talked about that stagnant energy. And so the full moon is going to give us that opportunity. Stagnant energy, stagnant routines, emotional baggage, because we've had a lot of inner work that we've been doing, which is a great thing, that inner work. So emotional baggage, and maybe some relationships that may be like one-way obligations, like you feel obligated to somebody, but it's a one-way street. So the people that no longer serve you, that that will serve you on your path forward. I know that a lot of people have come and gone lately, this year. Not just for me, but for a lot of my clients and students. Wow, and having them come to me and not understanding it. But these are the energies. We're walking into the new. So it gives that opportunity too with clearing the people that no longer serve you. Always detach with love. To align yourself with like-minded people. And I think that's been going on for several years now. So remember that, there are people out there. There is kindness and loyalty out there. You just have to look for it. Because I've had several clients, saying, there's nobody out there. Everybody's, mean, and everybody's, kindness and loyalty are out there. You just have to look for it. And this full moon in Sagittarius gives us that great opportunity to find those people out there. So I hope that you take advantage of the full moon in Sagittarius. On the 25th, another big shift. Jupiter moves into Gemini, which is an air sign. This is a 1-year cycle. So we've had Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is the expander, the expansion planet. So hence Jupiter that has been in Taurus, money, values, food. We've seen an expansion of that, expansion of the attention on that for the last year. So on the 25th of May, Jupiter is going to move into Gemini. So Jupiter is going to expand that Gemini energy, the air, right? So it's expanding our world, through communication, because Gemini rules communication. It can also be a very scattered energy, because Gemini is an air sign, the brain, think. But it's also the twins, the duality. So it is a very scattered energy. So if you're just mindful, like the piece talked about, and I said earlier, your practice of being grounded, meditation, staying in your center is going to be really important when Jupiter on the 25th moves into Gemini. So Jupiter, who also rules the truth, there can be an exaggeration of the truth, these energies. And Gemini, air, mind, thinking. It's a great time to think big, though. It's really a great time to think big, when it comes to manifesting the things that you want for the future. This is great brainstorming, as long as you don't stay in that brainstorming a place and not make a decision, because Geminis have a hard time making decisions. So it's, and really the biggest thing, it's very important to watch your thoughts, because Gemini rules thinking, communication, air, the mind, thinking. Jupiter expands. So it's very important to watch your thoughts. So if you focus on the good will expand, Jupiter. And if we focus on what's bad, the negativity, what's wrong, the bad will expand. The negativity will expand, Jupiter. So remember that thoughts become things. And starting the 25th of May for the next year, this is huge. This is a huge theme. So focus on the good, focus on the future. Because really, our higher consciousness of reality, it does exist now. There's no need to really create like the piece we're talking about. We have done such a great job at creating our future, creating this higher consciousness. There's enough of us who have created this. So the higher consciousness of reality is existing now. I know I have been feeling it big time. So just choose to be in it. Choose to be in a higher consciousness of reality. That love, kindness, loyalty, taking that into the future. So remember to stay in the love frequency. Be good to yourself. And when the chaos really comes, which it will, I hope you choose to be good to yourselves, to stay in that love frequency, ground, meditate. Because when we choose that, these energies are much easier to get through. Because regardless, they're here, it's coming. So that's what I've got for the astrology. Yaila, what have you got?
Thank you so much, Corey and Peyton. I resonate so much with both of you, what you shared from both your messages. I mean, hit home big time. So if you've tuned into our videos, I just tap into the collective energy as we record. So I will have my eyes closed from time to time because that's how I read from my clairvoyant space. So give me just one moment. Let me connect to the collective energy. And I always like to ask for a blessing for those of you tuning in, creator of all that is. Please bring forth the messages that are for your highest and best good. Please guide me with clarity and accuracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Immediately right away for the month of May, I am getting the color orange. And when I asked what that is representing, I heard creation and creative. So it feels like the month of May is going to be a really creative month for you. Really tapping into what you want to create, feeling more creative in your world. So the last couple months, if you really resonated with what Corey and Peyton were sharing, maybe you kind of were questioning your life purpose and questioning, what is my time on this planet all about? What am I doing with my time? Is this really it? Some of these deeper questions about knowing there's more to life than what has shown up to this point, or maybe even if you've had some great things popping up, just feeling like you're ready for the next level. So the month of May is a really strong month for you to let your creation and let your creative energy flow. You don't have to set anything in stone. It doesn't have to get locked in. It doesn't have to be your final answer, but let yourself play in that creative energy, because the month of May, you might surprise yourself for what you're called to, what you're drawn to. It might be more than what you ever thought possible for yourself, or a different direction than maybe what you thought your life was going to be, in the most positive and abundant ways possible. So May feels really exciting compared to the last couple of months that we've had. Let me just see what to watch out for the month of May. Two really strong things are popping in right now. So you may have heard, or maybe you feel this way too, there's kind of a loneliness pandemic going on for a lot of people. We're coming out of some really weird, interesting times the last couple of years, and we're adjusting to living, functioning back into the world, but the world's slightly different and changing from how we used to know it and connect to it. And we're learning how to reconnect with people, or maybe people that we used to find comfort and safety with. We're finding that that's not the same anymore. So just watch out for falling into thoughts of loneliness if where you're drawn to and called to with people, places, and things might be different than what you've naturally gravitated towards. I hope that makes sense how they're having me channel that. The second thing that they want you to watch out for is judgments. So as we're shifting into some of these newer energies, these newer vibrations, you've heard from a lot of people, or maybe you haven't, but there's a lot of people talking about shifting from 3D to 5D. I know the P's shared that in Peyton's messages. Corey's spoken about that. We're shifting to a different level of consciousness. And when I personally connect to the 5D, I think of the 5D as coming from a more heart-centered place, meaning loving all the aspects first about you. The last couple of months, the messages were coming through to be showing up in your most authentic way possible. And it was almost like training you to really speak your truth and love where your authentic energy, thoughts, feelings, emotions are at, because that's guiding you to what is for your highest alignment. So don't judge where you've been, where you are currently, and where you might be headed. Same thing for people in your life that you are connecting with. We're not here to judge each other. As we're stepping into that 5D consciousness, it's not about judgment. It's really about coming from that heart-centered place, loving how you're showing up and individually expressing yourself in this body, in this moment, in this reality, in this present time. And so really just being open to all the unique and different ways that we can express ourselves. So past generations, it was kind of limited, boxed in way of what is success, right? So now that we're stepping into some different energies, success for you might start to look different than what it looks like for your brother, your sister, your best friend, or even other family members. So just watch out for judgments and that thoughts of loneliness. If you are gravitating away from people that used to feel like comfort for you, you might find excitement in other avenues, is what they're saying. So that is what is to watch out for. Let's just see if there's anything helpful for you to know for the month of May 2024. They're like little coaches, like, you got this. So things that you can be excited about, and I don't think things are a coincidence. So little backstory before we started filming today. I had a client and I was just rushing to get ready, and one of my shirts, it says white buffalo. And so I was like, oh, I haven't worn that shirt in a while. I'll just throw it on and change before the ladies and I record our video. And did the reading, whatever. And my client was kind of asking me about this shirt. And then as soon as I ended the session with her, I looked on my social media just to check messages and connect in before we filmed. First thing I saw on my feed was I don't know if you heard, but April 25th was the date that the baby was born. A white buffalo calf was born. And so, according to Native American cultures, that's a really special prophecy as far as change for the better for the planet. And so, the National Buffalo Association says it happens 1 in every 10 million babies that are born, buffalo babies that are born. So it's very, very rare occurrence, and it just happened. And so I don't find it coincidence that this happened, connecting to that energy right before we were filming, wearing the shirt. So the message is to be relayed to you as well. So there is really exciting times to come. You can do it. You got this. Keep looking forward to the future that you want to create. Let it be different. Let it be fun. Let it be your own unique expression. And we are in for really fun times if we allow ourselves to lean into that. Kind of going back to some previous messages that we've all shared, is, when we resist the changes that we are being nudged to move into, that's what keeps us stuck and stagnant and more frustrated and unhappy longer. The sooner we let it go and just surrender and relax in to what might be showing up, what's falling away, we let fall away. You're going to move so much faster than keeping that resistance. So just remember, you can do this. Like, there's nothing that's going to be thrown at you that you can't handle. There's nothing that you're going to sense, feel, know, experience that you can't handle. You absolutely have this. You got this. You are here for a reason. If you weren't supposed to be here, your soul would have chose to cross over at this time, which there are still some people who are coming to that decision. When I've connected with my clients, with loved ones who have crossed to the other side, some of them were just ready. They didn't want to do what it took to kind of move to this next level of consciousness. They kind of felt complete for this particular lifetime. And so my personal belief is we have more than one lifetime. We do come back. So you can believe whatever you want. But we are connected to our ancestors and people who have lived before us, lived through us, lived beyond us, and we have different levels of input as far as why we are here. And if you are here, you're supposed to be here. So lean into what feels good, what feels fun, what feels like truly your voice, not what society thinks is the definition of your successful life or their successful life. What's your definition? How do you know you are being successful in your life? These are really great questions to ask. And success can show up in a lot of different ways and multiple ways. So it's not just one avenue. People get hung up on, what is my one life purpose? You have many purposes, but the underlying purpose is for you to have your own unique expression. So let this month be your creative way to connect to yourself, how you want to spend your time and energy. And if it takes some time to relax and ground and connect to nature to find those answers away from all the clutter and stirriness from society, allow yourself to have that time. So let's just see if there's any last messages for you, the collective. Last little message, and I think even both ladies touched on this, and this came through my reading before, of keeping it simple. So those practices, those rituals, those things that you do for yourself, or you used to do for yourself, that help you feel balanced and in alignment. For me, it's my daily meditation practice. Maybe for some people, it's taking a walk first thing in the morning, or whatever it is, going back to those simple, basic things that help you keep your energy and your body and your mind balanced. So that way you set yourself up for success, having that nice foundation energetically within your body. is going to be your answer key for this month and really beyond the rest of the year, because there's a lot of movement and things changing, and there's going to be some swirly energies, more so after May. There might be a little bit towards the end is what I'm hearing, but buckle your seats. It can be a really fun ride. Some people love roller coasters, some people get freaked out. But the more you resist, that roller coaster ride, the more uncomfortable and more you're going to get whipped around. But the more you just kind of surrender and let it be and trust you'll be safe and protected, you will. And you'll have a lot more fun in the process. So that is what I have for the month of May. Ladies, anything else you want to add?
All I know, Yaila, is we need more updates from the National Buffalo Association.
Right? I know.
Such an unlikely source, but I'm like, we need to hear more of that.
I know. So random, right? That's the most random things that pop in right before our reading sometimes.
But I think we get a lot of information from the natural world.
Mhm.
I think it tells us a lot when we look to the planet for what's happening to, as well as to the energy. So I loved your story.
It's funny that you say that, because I feel like I have been drawn, and I don't know if you watching have felt this way too, but just getting signs and signals from Mother Nature, I just feel more drawn to paying attention to those types of things. So kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I do too. I've had a lot more signs and signals, from the universe, from Mother Earth, all of it. I've had it ever since the eclipse. Boy, it feels as though that like I was saying, that higher consciousness of reality has all kind of molded into one. I have loved ones that have passed over, and when speaking to them or for the clients, they always felt, kind of like up there, so to speak. And now it feels as though they are right here with us. And it's been amazing. So every day going out there and going, okay. Yeah, I love those synchronicities. It's been great.
The Pleiadians have been saying that a lot lately. They're like, we're here with you now. We're not separate from you. And I always love it because they always show me hawks. So I know when I see hawks around that the peas are here.
That's a fun sign.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun sign.
Yeah, they love winged like totems. Is one of their symbols is birds.
I love that.
Interesting, Peyton. I remember I did this like shamanic journey meditation, and one of the symbols I got was like I became a bird, like hawk or eagle, and like just flying through the sky, where the wings were collecting up the information from the planet, and just like understanding where the world was at. It was a very interesting insight. So I love that they resonate for you as hawks. That's cool.
Yeah, for perspective, showing
Yeah.
you a different perspective, because that's what they love to say. We're just showing you a different perspective.
Very cool.
I love that. And yes, they are here. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can feel it. They are here with us now. I can feel
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yep. Loving it. Whole different perspective, right? And it's not it just flows. So it's not like the tapping into, it's just right here. That's been my experience lately. It's been wonderful. Like the other day, I was driving and had to go over this railroad track. And before I went over the railroad track, I heard, oh, I wonder if a train's coming. And all of a sudden, the gate was like, ding, 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 ding. And I had to back up. But that's how instantaneous the worlds have come together. That's all I can describe it as. And I was like, oh, wow, I love that. And that's just the energies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get those moments where the fog lifts and you're actually in, you can actually see the new place you're in. It's really, and then things go really fast.
Yeah, quicker manifestations, intuition more spot on. And so for those of you tuning in, obviously, if you would like any support around that, feel free to reach out to any one of us. We work with our clients in different ways, different levels. So feel free to reach out. Ladies, any last things? No?
Thoughts become things. Make sure. Watch your thoughts. Make them good.
And you'll know it by how you feel if it's in alignment for you.
That's right. That's right.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into the monthly report with us. We will see you next month for another energy update. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, and comments. Let us know where you are at since the solar eclipse, where you would like to be headed, and we'll send some good vibes for what you want to create. We'll see you next time. Bye.